Welcome back to Isaac Overexplained. Today we are delving into the world of the damage stat. I initially wanted to make a video going through all the stats in depth, but damage just has so much going on I wanted to do it justice. Please like, comment, and subscribe for more. Check out the Isaac Overexplained playlist in the description if you like what you see. Also, the cat had mixed reviews, so it has been banned until further notice. This is post-editing me here. We are now up to 1,200 subscribers, which is just absolutely insane. Thank you. There are 3 separate ways items can manipulate Isaac's damage. There's normal damage, flat damage, and damage multipliers. Let's look at the damage calculation formula. Effective damage is calculated as the character base damage multiplied by the square root of your total damage ups times 1.2 plus 1. Then add your flat damage ups and multiply all that by your damage multipliers. Let's focus on the square root here. This causes regular damage ups to be less effective the more you have. This graph shows the output of just that square root term. So you can see it kind of tapers off and flattens a little bit. And this graph shows the change in the output as you get damage up. So just 2 graphs kind of showing the same thing. This means that eventually flat damage is more effective than regular damage. All of these numbers are if you just have regular, normal, like Isaac stats. So at 0 damage ups, everybody knows you start at 3.5. And then here you can see our effective damage increasing. So this is the change in effective damage. So the first damage up actually gives you 1.7 effective damage. But again, this slowly tapers off as we saw. So after your 3rd damage up, flat damage actually becomes more effective because the flat damage up would just increase your damage by 1, obviously. So your 4th damage up would only give you 0.92 damage. Let's go through the character base damage next. This is actually 2 components. Every character has a base damage and a damage multiplier. If I do not mention a character in this section, they just have the regular 3.5 base damage and a 1 multiplier. So this is the base, Isaac stats. The only exceptions to the base value of 3.5 are Eden, which can have a value anywhere from 2.5 to 4.5, and Lazarus gains 0.5 base damage every time he dies. Here's where I'll mention an odd exception. Jacob and Esau have negative 0.75 and plus 0.25 flat damage respectively. This is the only character that has a direct modifier to their flat damage. A lot of characters have differing damage multipliers. Let's go through these lowest to highest. Eve and Tainted Magdalene is 0.75. Notably, Eve has a unique mechanic that changes her damage multiplier to 1 if Whore of Babylon is active. Blue Baby has a 1.05 multiplier. Every little bit helps, I guess. Keeper, Cain, and Tainted Eve have a 1.2 multiplier. Tainted Lost has a 1.3 multiplier. Judas has a 1.35 multiplier. And fun fact, if you have Birthright as Judas, so you have the special Book of Belial, if you use Damocles, you get a 1.4 damage multiplier and 1 flat damage. Lazarus Risen, which you get by either dying as Lazarus or dying with the Lazarus's Rags item, has a 1.4 multiplier. Both Azazels, both Forgottens, and Dead Tainted Lazarus have a 1.5 multiplier. And the highest in the game, Black Judas, which you get by dying with Judas's Shadow, has a 2 times multiplier. Given what I've told you so far, it seems like the damage calculation is pretty simple, right? However, it's never that easy with this game. Let's look at an example. Suppose we have Curved Horn, Crown of Light, and Sacred Heart. Curved Horn gives us 2 flat damage, so go and throw that in the calculator here. Crown of Light gives us a 2 times multiplier, so we'll change our multiplier to times 2. And Sacred Heart gives us a 2.3 damage multiplier, so we will do 2 times 2.3 to get a final damage multiplier of 4.6. And Sacred Heart gives us 1 flat damage, so we'll change our flat damage to 3. So this means when we pick up all 3 of these items, we should get 29.9 effective damage, right? Go ahead and pick all these up in Isaac here. And we have 26.3 damage. What's going on here? So, yeah. Isaac has a specific order in which flat damage and damage multipliers are applied. In this example, what went wrong is that the Sacred Heart flat damage is applied to everything else. So if we remove that, we get 25.3, and then you add 1 at the very end to get 26.3. So let's go through the order that these damage ups are applied in the Binding of Isaac. There's quite a few to get to, but we're going to cover some oddities along the way, and also we will get to learn the flat damage ups, because there's actually not that many. So it's kind of good to just kind of get a feel for which items give flat damage. So to start us off, the things that are applied first is just normal damage ups that we're not going to talk about here. So your growth hormones or cat of nine tails, those will be all applied to you first, which makes sense. The next thing that is applied is Odd Mushroom. Now this is a very weird item. It is the only item that works like this. Odd Mushroom multiplies your total damage ups by 0.9. This is not a damage multiplier. It acts differently. This multiplies your total damage ups. So we'll actually load into Isaac here just to explain this better. So let's give ourselves an Odd Mushroom. So with just Odd Mushroom, we have a 2.52 final damage. Let's see how we get here. I'll say this now, Odd Mushroom also gives you a minus 0.4 damage. But this is applied after the damage ups multiplied by 0.9. So we have our base Isaac stats here. So we don't have to multiply our total damage ups. I guess we could. We could go 0 times 0.9. And then we lose 0.4 damage. And we get 2.52, which matches Isaac. So now, knowing this, let's give ourselves, let's just say, a growth hormone. Now we are at 4.43 damage. So how do we get here? Now instead of 0 regular damage ups, we have 1 damage up. And now we get 4.43. This is what I mean that Odd Mushroom is different. It is not a damage multiplier. It multiplies your regular damage ups by 0.9. Again, completely unique item. No idea why it's like this, but it's there. So first group is the Odd Mushroom damage multiplier by 0.9. Next up, this is a big group of a bunch of different items. So first up, we have Odd Mushroom, gives you negative 0.4 damage, which we saw. Black Feather gives you plus 0.5 damage per evil item. Camo Undies gives you plus 10.5 damage that fades quickly over time. Dark Arts gives you plus 1 damage per enemy or bullet you hit when you're stealthed, and this fades over time as well. Golden Razor gives you plus 1.2 damage. Lazarus Risen gets plus 0.5 damage, which is permanent from reviving. Next we have Lusty Blood and Samson's Lock. These both give plus 0.5 damage per killed enemy in a room up to 5 max. And it's important to note that both these items share the same max. The Nail gives plus 2 damage, Purity gives plus 4 damage, Razor Blade gives plus 1.2 damage, and Red Patch gives plus 1.8 damage. So all of these damage ups are functional. They are literally functionally the same as every other damage up, except they are not affected by Odd Mushroom. I could not tell you why this is like this, but it is. So if you ever have Odd Mushroom and you're using the Nail, I guess be grateful that it's being applied after. The third group is just Polyphemus. It is a flat +4 damage up. Also in this group is if you have Polyphemus and 2020 Inner Eye or Mutant Spider, you get flat +5 damage instead. The next group is the Polyphemus ×2 damage multiplier and also the character multiplier. The next group is the character flat damage and Esau Jr., which has a flat +2. Next group is Mega Mush all on its own. That's a ×4 damage multiplier. Alright, this next group is where a lot of the flat damage items are. So listen up. We have Berserk, gives you a flat +3. Bozo gives you a flat +0.1. Candy Heart gives you a flat 0.1 if you randomly get that when you pick up the red heart. Consolation Prize gives a flat +1. Curved Horn gives a flat +2. Data Miner gives a flat +1 or -1. Death's List gives a flat +1. Experimental Treatment gives a flat +1 or -1. The Forgotten and Mom's Knife give a flat +4. Huge Growth gives a flat +7. Missing No gives a flat +1 or -1. Potato Peeler gives a flat +0.2. Soul Locket gives a flat +0.2, and Void can give you a flat +1. The next group is a couple of damage multipliers. If you have 2 Brimstones, you get a 1.2 damage multiplier. If you have Crown of Light, you get a ×2, and if you have Sacred Heart, you get a ×2.3. And the next group, which is in the example we saw earlier, Sacred Heart gives you a flat +1 damage. The next 2 groups are the Judas, Birthright, and Damocles synergy we discussed earlier, so you get a 1.4 damage multiplier, and then a flat +1 damage. Next group after that is the Hallowed Ground, Immaculate Heart, and Star of Bethlehem damage multiplier. This gives you a ×1.2. It's important to note that these do not stack with each other, for some reason. The next group has Adrenaline and Bloody Lust. So Adrenaline gives you flat damage based on a formula. It is actually 2 times your missing heart containers raised to the 1.6th power and multiply that by 0.1 to get your flat damage up. Bloody Lust gives a flat +6 damage up at max charges. The next group has 3. We have Azazel with the Ludovico technique, gets a 0.5 damage multiplier. Sure, I guess. The next 2 here do not stack with each other. We have Brimstone and Technology, or Hemolacria gives you a ×1.5 multiplier. Next up we have Ipecac, which is a flat +40 damage. In this group, we also have Ipecac with a bunch of synergy items that just gives you a flat +2 damage. These are Brimstone, Dr. Fetus, Playing as the Forgotten, the Ludovico Technique, Mom's Knife, Tech X, or Technology. This next group, we have a bunch of damage multipliers. We have 2020, which is a 0.8 multiplier. We have Almond Milk, which is a 0.3 multiplier. This next group of 3 do not stack with each other. We have Cricket's Head, Magic Mushroom, and the Book of Belial, Blood of the Martyr synergy. These all give you a 1.5 damage multiplier. Again, not stacking with each other. We have D8, which can give you a 0.5 to 2 times multiplier. We have Dead Eye, which scales to a ×2 max. We have Eve's Mascara, which is ×2. Soy Milk, which is ×0.2. Succubus is ×1.5. And the final group here, Cracked Crown, gives ×1.2 for damage over 3.5. So again, Cracked Crown boosts your stat bonuses, so any damage you have above 3.5. And Tainted Bethany has a ×0.5 for her damage stat over 3.5. And this is why y'all are probably running to the comments saying, wait, I thought Tainted Bethany had a negative damage multiplier. Well, it's not applied in the same area as the other characters' damage multipliers. That's why it's different. Again, a lot of these, I don't really know why they're separate, but they are. Like, in my mind, flat damage should just be applied after everything else. Because like flat means it doesn't change. But then you have all these multipliers that are after the flat. I don't know. It's just very confusing, but it's how it works.